Hey everyone out there in beautiful YouTube land, it's Joel Ellison with Pinnacle Gunsmithing, and today we have for you the modern evolution of the 1911. This is a Rock Island 1911 A2, and this particular one's the full-size tactical version, which this particular pistol is destined for some heavy-duty competition settings, and I was hoping we could take a look at it, break it down, see what's different between it and a regular 1911. Let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? Alright, we have our two contenders here today. On our right, we have the brand new Rock Island 1911 A2 full-size tactical version. And on the left over here, we have our more standard Metro Arms American Classic 2. This is more of a traditional single-stack 1911 in 45 ACP. This one is a double-stack 1911 in 9mm. The traditionally 1911s came with 7-round single-stack magazines. This is more from like World War I, World War II era technology. Nowadays, most 1911s that you see running around in the wild, especially in competitive circles, have 8-round magazines in 45. In 10mm and 9mm single stack versions will have variations along these lines. And in case you really wanted a lot of capacity, you have to go with a 10-round magazine. Now, while the 7-round does fit very flush with the grip, the 8-round magazine sticks out a little bit, just that little bit of bulge. That's reasonable for carry and for other competitive tasks. The 10-round, well, it is one of my favorites. It does protrude a lot, and that was really about as much capacity as you could get on a single stack 1911. It does come, the 10-rounder does give you a nice big handle to grab the magazine with, which is not a bad thing. But the double stack 1911s, now this one also comes with a mag funnel. The lowest capacity magazine I have is 18 rounds. Yeah, that's 18 rounds of 9mm, and if it's in there. That particular one is fairly flush. I have another one that's also 18 rounds. That is, sticks out. No, actually, this one's a 20-rounder. This one's also an 18-rounder that sticks out a little bit. Some people prefer the angled base plate. I kind of like it flat, but, you know, to each their own preference. The 20-rounder, however, that looks about right for this particular rig. Both of them have very nice triggers. Both of these pistols have very nice triggers, but they go about it in slightly different ways. There are some parts commonality between them, but not much, really. When it comes down to it, there's not much that interchanges between the two. As always with 1911s, there's a lot of fitting is required. But you're probably familiar with it. These. So let me go ahead and break this particular pistol down for you. Alright, we're going to start our field strip. We've taken out the magazine. We have nothing in the chamber. Good. Alright, now we have our hammer cocked, safety on. I'm going to use a bushing wrench. Kind of push that down. You don't necessarily need one of these per se, but it really helps. Hang on one sec. I'm gonna do this off camera. I'll be right back. Okay, that was a little bit awkward for me to do off camera. On camera with the pistol kind of at arm's length. I just kind of have to get up right in my workspace here. But we've turned our bushing to the left, and our our recoil spring plug. We've taken that out. I'll go ahead and take off the safety. And bring our slide back to the disassembly notch. If you're familiar with 1911s, this should look very similar. Alright, we have our assembly pin out. I'm going to assume most of my audience has at least some familiarity with the 1911, so I won't be boring you with the details on that. Alright, now we have our full-length guide rod. I find that I usually have to take out the recoil spring in order to successfully get the system apart. Hang on, stand by. Alright, there we are. What had happened was the bushing had turned back into the way of the recoil spring, making it a little harder to get the recoil spring out. This particular spring has been painted yellow. Probably to denote different weights at the factory. Alright, now we can slide our full-length guide rod out. Ooh, that's very nice. And we can turn our bushing the other way. Put our link forward and slide out our barrel. Yeah, this is a very nice barrel. 5 inches. Nice 11-degree target crown. Yeah, there we go. That's in focus. Yeah, and 2 big locking lugs to really lock that thing down. Yeah, let's see, take a look at our slide. We have more of a more modern take on the 1911 in that the slide serrations are very widely spaced and also slanted, which traditionally they have been, they're usually straight up and down and very tight and close together. This particular one has them, my personal 1911 has them much closer together, as you can see. They're on the front of both slides. Yeah, there we go. That's a good shot of those. And yeah, let's see. This particular one has very nice, our double stack has very nice fiber optic front sight, 2-dot rear, and also this sight is adjustable, whereas the more traditional sights, like this Novak style sight, is not. It's nice having non-adjustable sights when the pistol's all dialed in. This is intended more as a target pistol, so it would behoove you to be able to adjust your point of impact on the fly a little more easily. Alright, so we have our frame. This particular frame also has a long stretch of Picatinny out here, or excuse me, M1913 rail standard. But yeah, our magazine can fit in just like that and slide all the way up to there. But, well, let me take apart the other 1911 and I'll show you more of the details. Stand by. Okay, here we are. Here we have, I forgot to set up with the barrels pinned to the frames on both of these pistols. We've got our 45 on the right, our 9mm to the left. And you can see that the 45 actually has some of the feed ramp is actually part of the frame, whereas the 9mm has a more typical, not for 1911s, but more typical of most pistols, has the feed ramp as an integral part of the barrel, just machined into it. It's a big difference. The feed angle is a little gentler on the 45, but the 9mm still seems to be about as effective. And of course, they are polished to within an inch of their lives, just to in an effort to maintain reliability. All right, let me set up the camera for another shot, and I'll show you some more differences. Stand by. All right, one of the big differences in the feel of these two pistols is how smooth the slide is. The the double stack 1911 feels a lot smoother. Now, that comes at a cost. You do have to have a lot more spring. There may be a little bit of compression set on the 45 1911, but, you know, it's not that big of a deal. It still shoots well, and it seems to hasn't been battering itself to death. Of course, the guide rod difference is it's noticeable. Full-length guide rod over here, standard GI length guide rod over here, and the head of both of these is very different. We've got more of a groove here in the center, and this one is just kind of plain. They both work well. I don't think I would interchange them from one to the other, but they are well made for their intended purpose. I'll set up another shot for you and show you some more differences. Stand by. Okay, I've taken the liberty of taking off the grip panels on both of these pistols, and you can see a lot of weight savings on a traditional 1911. Here we have two big cutouts in the grip that, one, help you assemble the triple spring at the back, and two, it also reduces weight a lot. Now the double stack 1911 here, and notice I'm calling it a double stack 1911, not a 2011, since a 2011, the new modern hotness in 1911s, I'm saying that with air quotes, has a plastic module that covers most of this area down here. You can change that out quite well, but this, of course, does come with a lot of weight. However, it is much more stable. The fire control parts up here are in the steel frame, and they don't shift in relation to one another, much like a traditional 1911. Now, I probably should have mentioned this at the beginning, but one of the ways this particular pistol came into being from Rock Island was that, excuse me, I have cats crawling on me, was that this particular one was based on the Para-Ordnance Warthog, which was a pistol that I think has gone out of production. But I think that, what's it called? Rock Island has bought the rights to the design and have started making their own. Now, something else on these particular frames is the bushings. Traditional 1911 bushing have bushings that go into the frame and give the grip screws a lot more to bite. These do not have bushings. At least I believe these are just machined into the frame itself. And the screws are much, much shorter as a result. Also, the grip panels are very differently shaped. Here's a more traditional one, and here's the same grip panel on our double stack. Now, you'll notice that the double stack grip has this little protrusion over here. I'll show you more of what that's about. We'll get another camera shot. Stand by. Thanks for sticking with us so far into the video, but if you haven't seen last week's video, yeah, here's go Kia, yeah. Well, yes, she wanted into the video too. Yeah, don't worry, she's crawling onto my shoulder right now and just giving lots of purrs. Just purrs, no thoughts. This is not a cat on my neck, it's a scarf that squeaks. But let me zoom in a little bit for you. Alright, here we have, on our double stack 1911, you can actually see the three springs in there. Yeah, these cutouts are actually covering up where you can make sure the springs are working correctly. If we push down our ejector, hey, there's the middle prong of the triple spring. And if we turn that around, we can actually see our sear, especially if we take the safety off and just gently drop our hammer. I'm just trying to position my fingers so you can see it. There we go. Yeah, there we are. You can see it wiggling in there. That's the back of the trigger bow. Right there. All right, we'll put these back together and we'll close out our video. Stand by. Okay, we have our pistols put back together, and it looks like Powder has decided to join us. Yeah. Got Kia here on my lap if you hear any purring. Yes, we've decided to name her Kia, as in Pharmakia. Yeah, my wife's idea, but, I like it too. Yes, I think it suits her. Thank you for taking up the entire video frame. Stand by. There we go. There's a little better view of the little furry potato. Yes, she has about the survival instincts of a potato right now, but yeah, no. She's learning all she can from Powder, and I consider her the intern of the office over here. Yeah, so the double stack 1911 A2 from Rock Island. Fantastic little pistol. I foresee many years of use with this. Do I still enjoy my old single stack 1911 and 45? Absolutely. Is this going to be a welcome addition to my personal collection? Yes, absolutely. I do like 2011s, and I know they're the new hotness out there, but these are still quite viable. The magazines may be a little harder to find, but you know what? When you find something that worked for you, it's a beautiful thing. Some people always ask me, hey, why do you like 1911 so much? Isn't that a over 100-year-old platform? Yes, but I think of them as more, it's a more civilized weapon from a less civilized age, to paraphrase one of my favorite series of movies. But in any case, it's like a firm handshake. It's like a manual transmission. There's just something kinesthetically joyful about it. And I'll keep you updated to see if how this one keeps rocking and rolling. If we develop any major problems, I'll let you know. In any case, this has been Joel Ellison with Pinnacle Mountain Gunsmithing. If you've enjoyed our presentation today, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube. And if you'd like to support us more directly, go to our website at pinnaclemountaingunsmithing.com and set up an appointment to come see us. And hopefully we'll see you soon. Bye.